Hey there, neighbors and naysayers. Sorry, didn't know the video started. August 27th, 2023. I stopped here and I wanted to take a video, but I don't know if the video is going to pick it up. There was, here half an hour ago, probably not even that many, about 10 minutes ago, there was a swarm of dragonflies flying over this field. Of course, I'm in the switchgrass field, looking north, which is not a view I've probably given you any. There they returned. I don't know whether it's going to pick it up or not, but whether it's a view any of you have ever seen before. But this was grazed, hell, I don't even know, sometime before State Fair, mid-July, late July probably. And it wasn't good enough to go ahead and graze again when the cows were just here during the week of the county fair. So I left it go. It probably is good enough to graze now, but the cows are through that patch of woods on the other side, on the other crop field. So we'll probably just let it go. And I'll come back and get it when we come back around. This will just be the first field we come into when we come back over here again the next time, which is fine because we tend to graze it early because of this row of trees. In case we get hot days here in the fall, I can always run the cows over here on the hot days, and they're not going to graze much during the day anyway, so they can just be there and shade up. I don't like to do that, but I will if I have to. But anyway, the whole reason for the video was for the dragonflies, and now I'm standing here talking and they probably all took off, but there's still a couple swarming around. I saw a picture the other day from a grazer that had put fake dragonflies on their side-by-side, 2 or 3 or 4 of them. And they claimed that it kept the deer flies away because evidently, I didn't know this, didn't even look it up, so it may not be true. Evidently, dragonflies eat deer flies. They also eat mosquitoes. And the funny thing is, Ethan and I talk about this all the time. I believe dragonflies are skippers. That's how they drink or how they take on moisture, is to skip. Well, we don't have any water up here. Now, I had a portable tank right behind me, but I just dumped here 10 minutes ago. And I don't know whether they were getting water from there or whether they fly down and get it from the water tank, or they've got an opening down in the creek somewhere they fly down there and get water. But these suckers are huge. I mean, they're almost bird-like. If you're seeing something that looks like a bird in the video, it's a dragonfly. But it goes back to what I was talking about in the last video. You know, we need to embrace the rough pasture. Sure, this has got more ironweed than I like. There's some goldenrod in it. Straight out in front of me, though, there's a black-eyed Susan that's part of the flowers that I planted in this field. Bunches of white clover. I don't have any chicory or plantain in here, but there is some here anyway. It was already here native. So we need to embrace that rough pasture look just for the insects that it promotes. If it's promoting beneficial insects that I can see, imagine what it's producing underneath the soil surface. That is worth the price of admission as far as I'm concerned. Yes, it's not pretty. Yes, it's not a monoculture pasture. Yes, it's not clean. And we are just conditioned, as Americans especially, to have this idea of mowed and clean and nice. And sure, there are a lot of things around here I'd love to be cleaned up. Yes, I mean, this fence row is probably one of the many things that needs to be cleaned up. But outside of that, though, it's not so bad. And I guess to further that conversation, I had a bus tour here a couple of years ago. Soil and Water, Jefferson Soil and Water put on. And where we stopped over at my little farm, which is just in front of that house that you're seeing. And the lower field there is a little farm. I had fed hay on in the winter, and then I didn't graze the sheep on all summer. And the bus tour was in like September or October. I was just trying to let it go and keep the worms at bay, the internal parasites at bay. And I apologized to the bus tour for that field looking so rough. I meant to brush hog it. It had a lot of goldenrod in it and a couple other things. Annual weeds, lots of grasses though too, but it just looked rough to me, and I apologized to them. And I had several of those city folks, and we're talking upper crust folks, not just people off the street. We're talking county officials and the like. I had several of them come and say, you don't need to apologize for that. We think that's pretty. We think that's beautiful. It's not taken over by Japanese knotweed. There's diversity out there. There's flowers out there. There's insects. There's bugs out there. that's kind of interesting coming from an urbanite who we think of as consistently mowing their grass. So every time we think it's ugly, maybe we ought to rethink that a little bit and realize that maybe it isn't as ugly as we like. And I had another point. Ethan and I were driving and talking about it this weekend. I totally forget what it is, but it's just so cool to get to this time of year and see the pastures kind of different. Now, we'll probably clip these. I'd love to get it and clip now and take that ironweed out. There's enough red clover and white clover flowers, especially white clover flowers out there for the pollinators. I'd love to get that ironweed taken care of because it's starting to go to seed, and those ironweed seeds in your eyes at 20 miles an hour on this four-wheeler are not fun. So that would take away a little bit of it, but we need to do that just to control mothfly rows and other things in these fields. But in this field especially, I like to brush hog it because I won't take out the flowers other than the ironweed. If I can, I'll even leave ironweed if I can leave some of the flowers that are here. There's not many here after this was mob grazed. There's a few, but it was kind of time for them to be done anyway. The pollinator habitat up at mom and dad's house, those ones that they grazed and tromped down are done now anyway, so that's okay. So, just thought I'd do a quick video while I'm at it. I need to say hello to Ethan. Ethan is watching my videos when he's with his mother, which is kind of cool because he gets to see things, and that's part of what we do and why we're doing it. Why I'm doing this is, you know, they can't be with me every day, but they can at least see the things that I see, and when I have a thought, I can share it this way, and then Ethan and you all get to see those thoughts. So, with that, I'll say, we'll see you next time.